Welcome to the Quick 10 podcast, brought to you by Trac, focusing on all things FedCon and cyber defense from different perspectives and different personalities, all in 10-ish minutes. Here's your host, Derek White.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Quick 10 podcast. We are here live and in person at the CUICON CMMC conference in Tampa, Florida. I am joined by Mark Berman from FutureFeed. Mark, how are you doing?
Hi, doing well. How are you?
Doing good. It's been
Derek.
a good day.
Yeah, it's been a great day. Very busy here.
Very busy. Yes.
The market in CMMC is just coming to life now that the rule is in place. So many contractors have the requirement, and anybody that put it off is realizing that it's going to directly affect their business. And now we have full conferences.
You can see it's sold out conferences.
Yes.
In fact, this one is.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about conferences in a second here. Okay, so what's going on at FutureFeed? What's new in the zoo? How are things going? I know it's been a crazy couple months for a lot of people, but what's going on?
It has been a bit crazy for us. Just as the conference market is lighting up, as contractors are looking to finally and actually address their compliance because it's not going away, we're sort of the direct recipient of that because many people are using our FutureFeed compliance platform to prep themselves for getting ready for that C through PAO assessment.
Any, let's just say 6 months ago, the world was different. Any new things that FutureFeed you've really seen pay off on? Wow, that is, we are now seeing how users use the tool, how the partners use the tool. You've seen that those changes have been different.
I mean, there are some things that are very core to our approach of the process. We don't really actually look at ourselves as a compliance tool. Ultimately, every organization has three elements that make up their IT: the people and the roles that they're in, the documents that tell the people what to do with what, their tools and services. So if we have a solid list of those three things, the assessment is really just filtering and kind of describing what you do with those three things through the lens of, we like to say 110 controls, but it's really 320 questions. So that sort of way of documenting your IT is not a separate project. It's actually a very useful project in terms of your management of your company. That strategy has been resonating for a lot of people. We've had to hire more salespeople. We have education is about a third of our staff are educators to help people with the CMMC and help them with their challenges. We just added someone last week, more than ever before. We need both to educate and to implement, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah, and we go back a ways, so it's been actually really fun catching up with some people here that to talk about the past and then talk about what the future. So here we are, 2025 is going to roll through. Anything in particular where, from FutureFeed's perspective, where you're excited to see not just the things pick up and those that are taking this more seriously, but do you get that sense that there's more buy-in internally and that you see partners operating differently now that they can make things?
And that's a really good question. There are a couple of ways that the observations that we make. One of them is it's very unique when running a business. Most of the time in business, the C-suite are the people that decide that we're going to do some initiative and they push it downhill. With CMMC, a lot of the C-suite people have recognized that there's a need and it's complicated. So they immediately say, hey, Joe, you're in charge of CMMC, or Sally, you're in charge. And then when Joe or Sally figures out just how much there is to do and the costs, they have that in-depth knowledge and they're bearing the torch for the whole company. So normally things come from the top down, but with CMMC, it usually comes from the middle management out, which means that person who got the assignment gets a deep understanding. They come to a place like CUICON, where we are now, or CEIC West, which is the official conference of the CyberAB that we host in May. So they'll come to a conference, they'll understand the breadth and the depth. Then they've got to coach their C-suite. So now you have middle management coaching upper management. Why do they do that? Because it's a full staff thing. To change the culture for cybersecurity, you need the buy-in of the people below. They can smell it when the C-suite is not fully engaged. So you've got to get them to get behind it. So now you have a middle manager teaching upper management, engaging them, and then pushing it down. It's a unique situation, and we see one contractor after another. We have about 1,100 actively using our platform. one contractor after another. It's not the technical controls, it's not the computers, it's not the IT. What it really is changing the culture to make sure that you can reliably and repeatedly do the things that you say in your policies. And for many people, it means writing your policies down for the first time. So that's what we see.
And I know one of the great features of FutureFeed, at least from our perspective, is there's accountability built in there, where if they are changing their culture and people are going to have to understand what this means moving forward, not just one-time project stuff, is using tools like that, specifically yours, with who's responsible, who's going to be the RACI stuff, the effort levels, and all these things that you can put that detail in there. If you don't have another way to organize, it's great to have responsibility, accountability, all that stuff built in. We're seeing that obviously we're not just working with one individual at the company as often as we used to in the past, where there's more people saying, okay, what's next? And okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to go through. It's easy to show that in a tool like FutureFeed. So I'm sure you guys are seeing that obviously as well. So
yeah, I think RACI is actually critical to the profitable operation of any company. So RACI means responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. So if you think about any time you've struggled in business, it's often been because two people thought they were accountable for the same thing, or nobody was accountable because everybody thought it was somebody else and there was actually no one. So accountability in FutureFeed, you just write down, it's not that complicated. You write down who's in charge of what and who's responsible, who's reporting to that person. We do it for two reasons. One, it makes your business run better.
Right.
And two, the auditor needs somebody to talk to about all these topics. So you don't want them to randomly talk to people in your company, talk to people who have some knowledge. So by using the RACI model, we can actually deliver better management and a smoother audit. And it's everywhere in our platform.
And that's great. And you're right, it is everywhere in the platform, which is not just 110, 320 assessment objectives, things to 320 things that have to be answered by somebody.
And it's even in more places, because when you find that you have a gap, what do? You make a project to fix the gap. Somebody's got to be in charge of that project. Project doesn't go well when it's not clear. And then you assign a team of people, hopefully, depending on how big you are, to help that person. So in all of these cases, we're adding some sort of structure and repeatability, which is something that, look, we all know in business we have to do it. We never get around to it. So in some ways, the government is doing us a favor by saying, just don't do your business randomly anymore. Just design the process from the top down and then have people follow that process. Create a little evidence that you're following it along the way.
That's show what you're doing. Yeah. Show what you've done. That's good. So let's talk a little bit about the event in May that you mentioned. Can you share about that event?
We do have an event in May in Las Vegas this year. It's CEIC West, CEIC West.com. It is one of two official conferences of the Cyber B that we have every year. We had 900 people in DC in November. This one is May 21st to 23rd. It's 2.5 days. So the I in CEIC is implementation. So this is very much about not just talking about compliance or talking about it academically. What do you have to do? In what order? And how do you have to do it? So we have a great program. We have more than 50 speakers. We experiment a little bit with conferences. We try some new things. We have just sold out of exhibit. The exhibitor hall just sold out. We're 3 months out. It's pretty popular. We should have 800 to 850 people. It's at the JW Marriott, which is not on the Strip, though it has a casino. And it's halfway from the Strip to Red Rock Canyon. So if you're an outdoorsy person, I love to go hiking. It's a beautiful place, Red Rock Canyon. You can go 15 minutes there or 15 minutes from the Strip. So hopefully everybody's happy. There's also pre-conference training. If you don't mind for a second.
Yeah, please do.
If you're a contractor, the best way to be a good buyer of services from a provider is to know what you're buying. And the CCP training is a class that you take. It's a 5-day class. It's offered by 3 different providers at CEIC West, where you can do half the class and then go to the conference and kind of use what you just learned and then finish online. But the best way that you can buy is have someone in your organization understand what you're buying so that you can tell the difference between a good consultant or a good MSP and one that may be a good MSP, but not right for a government contracting business. So this pre-conference training turns it into a week-long event. It's been very popular. I think at the last one, we had more than 100 people who came in on Monday, did a few days of training, and then did the conference. We also have a golf tournament this time. So TPC Las Vegas is on the Pro Tour some years. I can't wait to play there. And then in a year or two, see it on TV and go like, I put a hole in the course right
We'll be there.
with my,
We're definitely doing that.
with my
That's gonna-
7-iron or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great
So
course.
that should be a lot of fun. That's the day before
Mhm.
the actual conference, and we're really excited. I think we have more than 100 contractors signed up. The capacity is about 850, and we're 3 months away.
That's great. Yeah, well, a little spoiler, we're gonna be doing this there as well, similar setup from the showroom floor. So we're it's gonna be a good event. Those are good events. Thank you for sharing that. That is in May. So if you're watching this after May, you missed it if you weren't there.
Good
But
point.
there'll be another one, and it'll be
We have
probably in the
CEIC
fall.
West,
Yeah,
CEIC West, and CEIC East.
Yeah.
CEIC West.
the CEIC West. There you
CEIC
go.
West.
Whenever you
We
want.
got to make a website called CEIC West.
Oh, that's good. Awesome. Well, cool. That's thank you for sharing that. We're looking forward to that as well. As always, thanks for stepping aside, taking some time out. This
It's my
is great.
pleasure anytime.
And we'll enjoy the rest of the conference, and then we'll see you again for sure in May.
I appreciate the good work that you guys do in securing the Defense Department supply chain.
Thank you.
As an American, we need companies like you and people talking about it like we are right now. So I really appreciate that.
No,
you're here.
that's well said. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for being here. We'll do it again next time.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode, and make sure to subscribe to the Quick 10 podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and check us out on YouTube as well. For more information about Trac, visit our website at www.cuictrac.com. That's CUICKTRAC.com.